The best of money matters. Wealth Tracker.
Welcome to the Wealth Tracker, where we dive into the uncharted territories of niche investment strategies that promise to redefine wealth. Hello, I'm Hongbin Jeong. Now, the rise of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology has been nothing short of transformative, reshaping global finance and wealth management. According to Multipolitan's latest report, The Future is On-Chain. This revolution is gaining unprecedented momentum, fueled by key geopolitical shifts and demographic changes. Now, one key insight from the report is the emergence of crypto-friendly cities as the new epicenters of wealth and innovation. Cities such as Ljubljana and Hong Kong, Zurich, and Singapore are now vying to become the global hubs for crypto wealth, driven by favorable regulations and strong tech infrastructure. So how is blockchain transforming the way we live, work, and invest? And what can cities, investors, and individuals do to position themselves at the forefront of this new digital economy? Well, to find out more, joining me now here in the studio is Nirbhay Handa, who is a CEO of Multipolitan, and Chuan Wei Foo, who is a partner for North Asia at Multipolitan. Welcome to the show, both.
Thank you, Hongbin, for having us.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much for joining us. All right. Your latest report ranks Ljubljana as the most crypto-friendly city in the world for 2025. So, Nirbhay, how did you come up with this ranking? What metrics did you use to assess crypto-friendliness?
Thank you, Hongbin. I believe most of the crypto-friendly indices that we usually see, they are measuring cities and how tax-friendly they are, right? That's usually the critical metric. But here we decided to do something different. You know, we wanted to assess them on different parameters, right? So initially we shortlisted around 27 cities on, where you have legal status of cryptocurrencies, so are cryptocurrencies legally allowed? Second was, what is the economic growth that this country or the city is experiencing? Third was, is this city capable of attracting high caliber crypto talent? And the third was, these cities should not just be regulatory havens, right? They should actually be able to sustain crypto infrastructure. On that basis, after that, we ranked different city, and Ljubljana was ranked number one, primarily because the crypto adoption when it comes to day-to-day use is extremely high, right? There was a company called Go Crypto, started working with more than 1,500 merchants in Slovenia. As a result of that, it's actually a place where people are using crypto very frequently for daily transactions. Like you can buy a coffee at a merchant through crypto, right? So this is, I would say, this index that we've prepared, it has gone through a multi-metric analysis, and we've tried to just not focus on the tax friendliness of it is, but also how what is the daily usage of crypto like? And, how well is the awareness levels around crypto usage in that particular city? And that's how Ljubljana was ranked number one in this analysis.
Well, based on your report, Singapore, I believe, ranks number 5. So what was Singapore missing to reach that number 1 status?
I think Singapore did extremely well when it comes to how fiscally competitive it is. It did extremely well when it comes to regulation. And particularly when it comes to these two things, it's really one of the strongest contenders. But it's very rare that we see that we can go buy a coffee in Singapore through crypto. Right? So I think this index was primarily focused on seeing day-to-day user adoption, right? But when it comes to wealth preservation and when it comes to laws and regulation, obviously Singapore really stands apart, and it's the place to come and open your digital asset businesses.
Well, Dubai's golden visa is well known in crypto circles, but your report also flags Oman as a potential rising star in the Gulf. What shifts are happening in lesser known countries that are making them attractive for crypto wealth and innovation, Nirbhay?
Yeah, thank you, Hongbin. So Dubai is obviously very, very visible contender, and a lot of people, particularly in Europe, since its proximity and fiscal competitiveness, they move to Dubai as they don't have to pay capital gains tax or trading tax on their crypto, right? So there's been a lot of interest around Dubai. Having said that, Oman is just next to UAE. It's also fiscally extremely competitive. I don't know if you've been to Muscat. It's stunning. It has the mountains, it has the sea. Plus, tax-wise, it's super friendly. In addition, the government is also spending a significant amount of wealth within the crypto ecosystem. They had a mining project recently. As a result of that, people who are looking for something a little bit more quiet, more habitable, maybe more family-centered, Abu Dhabi is attractive, but now Oman is also becoming very attractive because fiscally, it remains a very robust jurisdiction when it comes to crypto wealth.
Okay. Well, do you see a future where the most crypto-friendly cities become the new financial capitals of the world, leapfrogging traditional hubs like New York or even London?
Yeah, I open a lot of panels with this thought that the future financial center of the world would be climate and crypto forward. And when I say crypto forward, I don't necessarily mean the speculation around Bitcoin or Ethereum or what we hear about in different meme coins, for example. What I mean is that blockchain is really going to transform finance. We're going to walk into an era of tokenization, fractionalized ownership of assets. And I think cities that are going to embrace that are really going to be on the forefront. So, it never has to be New York or London. Obviously, we've seen the rise of Singapore. We've seen the rise of Dubai. Wall Street really has competition now. It's probably Cecil Street or maybe Sheikh Zayed Road in Dubai or Central in Hong Kong.
Oh, wow.
So I think the future financial capitals of the world will definitely be crypto forward. And that's the conclusion this report also makes.
Very interesting. Well, according to Multipolitan as well, there's a growing interest among high net worth crypto investors in securing alternative citizenships and residencies. Now, Chuan Wei, how is crypto wealth shaping global mobility, and why are places like Malta, Portugal, and the UAE becoming, migration magnets?
Thanks, Hongbin. So, crypto is rewriting the rules where the wealthy live thanks to low taxes, golden visas, and crypto-friendly laws. So places like Portugal, Malta, and the UAE, they are becoming crypto havens. So it's not just about the sunshine, it's also about financial freedom, lifestyle, and control. So these places that we mentioned, they have low to no capital tax gains. They have clear regulatory frameworks that support blockchain innovation, and they protect crypto assets. So example like the UAE DMCC, the VARA, RAGDAW, and the ADGM in Abu Dhabi. So they also have a high quality of life and global connectivity. So they attract digital nomads as well as the crypto entrepreneurs. So all in these trends, they reflect a broader shift where financial freedom and decentralized wealth give individuals more control over where they live, how they invest.
Right. Well, your report also highlights that Gen Z and millennials are adopting crypto at rates 3 times higher than baby boomers. Now, Chuan Wei, young investors are allocating 12 to 17% of their portfolios to crypto, from, NFTs to DeFi. How is this redefining the traditional concept of asset diversification?
So Gen Z and millennials, they are flipping the script on investing. So, crypto in the past, it sort of used to be a hobby, right? So now it's not a side bet anymore. It's actually a core part of their portfolio. They are cool with risk. They love decentralization. They want 24/7 global access. And for them, crypto isn't just an asset anymore. So it's a mindset shift towards freedom and control. So crypto to them is a core asset as of now. No, instead of just stocks, your usual bonds and real estate, young investors now include crypto as their foundational portfolio as well. So the younger people, they have a higher risk appetite. They are more comfortable with volatility, and they view crypto as a hedge against inflation and centralized financial systems. So there's very low barriers to entry with fractional investing as well as DeFi tools. Even small investor can build diverse crypto portfolios.
Well, a pro-crypto stance over in the U.S., particularly under Donald Trump's presidency, is triggering a regulatory chain reaction worldwide. So, Chuan Wei, what's the nature of this domino effect, and how is it influencing policy elsewhere?
If the U.S., especially under Donald Trump, goes pro-crypto, the entire world will take notice. It signals legitimacy and it sparks global competition. It forces a lot of the stricter countries to rethink about about their rules or they will risk falling behind. So what's the bottom line? A US crypto shift will set off a worldwide global policy race. So, sort of, it's also a global signaling, US support for crypto legitimizes the industry. It prompts a lot of other countries to accelerate their own crypto policies to stay competitive. So in some places, there are also like regulatory arbitrage. Companies will shift to crypto-friendly jurisdictions. So it forces the stricter countries to rethink their stance, or they will losing innovation as well as capital. So, and there's also policy realignment. International bodies such as FATF, BIS, they could shift their tone towards more accommodating frameworks due to US influence. Last but not least, there's emerging market adoption where developing nations, right, they often follow US leads. So a pro-crypto US policy could open the door for broader global acceptance.
Well, without a doubt, there is a growing adoption of crypto adoption here. I mean, we've seen a growing wave of legacy institutions from BlackRock to Goldman Sachs even embracing tokenization and digital assets. So how is this institutional momentum changing the way we think about the legitimacy and mainstream adoption of crypto?
So when giants like BlackRock and Goldman, they jump onto crypto, it's game-changing, right? So they bring trust, structure, and real-world use. They turn crypto from hype into a serious financial tool. So it's no longer fringe. It's the future of finance. It's going mainstream fast. So some examples are like, Goldman, they investing in Circle USD, and Julius Baer, they invested in Seba Bank. Now they have rebranded into Amina Bank. So it validates crypto in the eyes of regulators and investors. It bridges the traditional finance as well as, being more compliant with scalable infrastructure. Right. It drives regulation, standardization, institutional-grade custodial solutions. Last but not least, redefines crypto. It shifts the focus from speculation to real-world utility, like tokenized treasuries and programmable securities.
Definitely, crypto is no longer a hype anymore. I mean, tokenized real-world assets could even unlock a $2 trillion opportunity by 2030. So, Nirbhay, which types of assets are leading this charge, and what kind of infrastructure is needed to support this scale of tokenization?
Yeah, I think this tokenization is really inevitable, and with the vast amount of assets which will be tokenized, regulation becomes key. So we're going to see lots happening on the regulatory front. What kind of assets are going to be tokenized? We have companies that are tokenizing U.S. securities. We have companies that are tokenizing real estate. We have companies that are tokenizing art. I don't know if you heard about Signum. You can buy Andy Warhol in 5,000 pieces. Right? So Signum Bank did that. There was also, I think, St. Regis Hotel in Aspen, where people could buy fractional shares of it through tokenization, right? Okay. What tokenization does is it really democratizes access, right? And really fractional ownership is the future, right? And, you can really invest like a billionaire now without marrying one, in a funny way, because now you have access to fine art. And so it's going to become quite mainstream, and you're going to see different types of assets, from securities, from real estate, from art, even fine wine. A friend of mine runs this company called Savia. They tokenize fine wine. So we're going to see tokenization pretty much every asset class going forward.
Well, then on that note, how do you see blockchain reshaping the way we govern, transact, and build communities in the next, 3 to 5 years?
Yeah, and I think that's really the core foundation of this report. Crypto is way beyond its hype, right? The utility of blockchain is going to be enormous going forward in the future. I think there are going to be a lot of identity verification protocols that can be built on blockchain. It can really transform immigration, for example, as an industry, and how people come in and move out. The second piece is, governance is going to move on blockchain. In Estonia, they've done a great job. They have this thing called once-only principle. So what that means is that whenever you're filling new forms which are related to civil services, you don't have to put the same information again, right? Because it's stored on your blockchain. Right. Apparently, there's also a way for you to file a divorce on a blockchain-based protocol, which can happen in 30 days. So, a friend and I, we were just joking how convenient, or not. Right? So, I think blockchain is really going to enter governance, right? I think many people argue that democracy needs a UX designer, and blockchain could be a real foundation for it. It can make governance more engaging, and also it can really improve movement of people, because we're really collecting stamps from the 19th century when it comes to immigration. So it really has the power to transform it. The other piece, as an entrepreneur myself, I believe businesses are going to be built on chain. What that means is that, right now, if you operate in multiple countries, you need multiple bank accounts. Whereas in the future, that can all be avoided if all your transactions are being carried on a blockchain protocol. And let's say you need your accounting or you need your finance documents in 5 minutes, you can just go on, just press a button and get all those documentations immediately. So, I believe the future of entrepreneurship is also on chain. Right. So governance, entrepreneurship, movement of people, identity verification, how we access civil services, all of this is really going to move on blockchain.
Right.
Hongbin.
The future sounds scary but exciting at the same time here. Well, speaking of the future being on-chain here, to wrap up our conversation, for investors, what is the most, urgent insight from your report, The Future is On-Chain, that you believe people need to act on today?
So, there's an estimated $300 trillion of wealth that's going to move from boomers to millennials and Gen Z. I think in the U.S., that estimate is close to around 85 million. So this is a huge wealth transfer. And the way millennials think about wealth, governance, and mobility is starkly different from the boomers, right? So as a result of that, I think businesses would need to adapt to their preferences. I'm also hearing a lot nowadays that most of the people within my network, instead of having savings account on their banks, they're using apps like Art of Finance, they're using apps like Stash Away, they're using Chocolate Finance, for example. So there's going to be a lot of innovation that legacy institutions would need to do, because this generation is really about vitality and vibrancy. So driving that engagement with a younger audience is going to become quite critical. The younger audience, we've had this huge narrative on democratization. We're living in this era with more first-generation entrepreneurs than ever before. Retail investors have access to sophisticated information. As a result of that, the acceptance of blockchain and the way we do things is going to be imminent. So I think new businesses, new governments, they also need to adapt to that. And I think that's pretty much what the conclusion of this report is. And that's why it says the future is really on-chain. It doesn't mean that we're only going to be investing in crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum. What that means is that governance, mobility, wealth, a lot of these things are going to move on-chain.
Right. Future is on-chain. Well, some great insights from you both. Thank you so much for joining me today.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hongbin. Take care. Thank you so much.
Goodbye.
That was Nirbhay Handa, who's a CEO of Multipolitan, and Chuan Wei Foo, who is a partner for North Asia at Multipolitan. This has been The Wealth Tracker with me, Hongbin Jeong.
Before acting on the information on Money FM, please consider if it's suitable for your own investment objectives, financial situation, and risk tolerance. To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.